welcome to Little Jerusalem. My name is Sean Boshoff. And basically, you either believe in the whole Bible or not any of it, right? Right. I'll try to keep it simple for the politicians. The story that contains a million stories but ultimately begins in history and ends in history, as in his story. See, the more you read the Bible, the more you realize the entire book is actually about God and not us. And that he used and is still using Abraham and the Jewish nation to do just that. For example, Genesis 17:8 says, God's promise to Abraham, "The whole land of Canaan, where you are now an alien, I will give you as an everlasting possession, and to your descendants after you, and I will be your God." Ezekiel 38 states that Israel belongs to God, and Joel 3 says Israel is God's land and his people. Not very complicated, is it? God promised this land to the Jews forever. And I can keep doing this for hours. Deuteronomy 32:8 and 9 and Acts 17:26 states that God determined the boundaries, borders, for all the nations of the world based on Israel, starting with one man. Israel and the Jewish people. The land and the people are one. What? No, I didn't say that. He said that. He said that. So check this out. In Exodus, God gave Moses and his people this land. But because of their disobedience, many years later, God kicked them out. You know the song, "By the Rivers of Babylon"? Yeah, well, that's when God scattered them out of the promised land to Babylon. So a little over 400 years before Jesus, he brings the Jewish nation back to the promised land. Around 400 years later, Jesus comes to rescue us. Then 70 years after the death of Jesus, Israel angers God once more. The Roman army comes to war! Where the Jews get scattered again. Nuts! Under 2,000 years later, because of the death of 6 million Jews in the Holocaust, in 1948, the nations of the world votes together, declares the Jewish state of Israel. Then just like God promised, for the last time in Scripture, the Jewish nations returns from all over the world, relearns their language Hebrew, and once again becomes rooted in the promised land. The land was only given back to them 65 years ago, but not all of it, where I'm standing now, on top of Mount Nimron at the Sea of Galilee. Used to belong to Syria. In 1967, war breaks out. Israel wins back the Golan, one of the most strategic pieces of land in the Middle East. Crazy! You can see the countries and borders of Syria, Jordan, and Israel from here. And if you go up high enough, you can even see Lebanon. Israel is the smallest country in the Middle East with 7 million Jews. It's surrounded by Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Jordan, Syria, and Lebanon. Egypt alone has a population of over 80 million people, where most of the nations around Israel have tried to destroy this land and the Jews, who according to Scripture belongs to God, since the time of Moses. How is Israel still here? So crazy. If anyone ever asks you, how can you believe in God? Just answer, look at the Jews! Thanks for joining us today. Please keep on tuning in and check out www.littlejerusalem.org.